Tears of the Rising Sun, the story of Biafra War. The morning sun rose over Enugu, casting long shadows across the red earth streets as Chibueze Okonkwo prepared to open his shop. It was early 1966, and like many Igbo businessmen, he had built a thriving enterprise far from his ancestral home. His general store in Kaduna, northern Nigeria, represented 20 years of hard work, a success story that echoed thousands of others among his people. "Papa, when will you teach me to run the shop like you?" His 12-year-old son, Chidi, had asked just the previous evening. Chibueze had smiled, ruffling his son's hair. "Soon enough, my son. First, you must focus on your studies." Education had always been the cornerstone of Igbo advancement. Since the British missionaries first arrived in the southeastern region of Nigeria, the Igbo people had embraced Western education with remarkable enthusiasm. This zeal for learning, combined with their entrepreneurial spirit, had carried them far. They filled positions in the civil service, military and business sectors across the newly independent Nigeria. But success, as Chibueze would soon learn, could breed resentment. The first hints of trouble came on January 15, 1966. The radio crackled with news that would change everything. A military coup had taken place. Major Kaduna Nzogwu, an Igbo officer, along with other young military officers, had overthrown the civilian government. Though the coup plotters included officers from other ethnic groups, the fact that many of the killed leaders were northerners, while the new head of state, General Aronsi, was Igbo, fed into growing tensions. Chibueze remembered the unease that settled over Kaduna in the following months. Whispers in the marketplace, sidelong glances from longtime customers. Then came July 1966, and with it, the counter-coup that would tear Nigeria apart. "Take your family and run," his Hausa neighbor Abdullahi warned him one evening. "Things are about to become very bad." The warning came just in time. That night, the killing began. Chibueze could only grab a small bag of belongings as he fled with his wife, Grace, and their 3 children. Behind them, they left everything they had built: the shop, their home, their community. They joined the stream of Igbo refugees fleeing south, witnessing horrors along the way that would haunt them forever. They reached Enugu, the capital of the eastern region, joining over 1 million other displaced Igbo people. The stories they brought with them were all similar: tales of loss, violence, and narrow escape. The shared trauma united them in a way nothing else could. Lieutenant Colonel Chukwuemeka Ojukwu, the military governor of the eastern region, became their voice. When negotiations with the federal government failed, he did what many felt was inevitable. On May 30, 1967, he declared the independent Republic of Biafra. Chibueze stood in the crowd that day, holding Chidi's hand, as Ojukwu spoke of self-determination and survival. The new Biafran flag, red, black, and green with a rising sun, flew overhead. That rising sun became a symbol of hope for the Igbo people, a promise of a new beginning. Nobody expected the war to last 3 years. Nobody imagined the suffering it would bring. The initial optimism of Biafran independence quickly gave way to the harsh realities of war. Federal forces surrounded the breakaway region, imposing a blockade that would lead to one of the 20th century's worst humanitarian disasters. Chibueze, like many others, joined the Civil Defense Force. His shopkeeping days were behind him now. Survival became the only business that mattered. Grace turned their small garden into a farm, growing whatever could supplement their dwindling food supplies. Chidi and his siblings learned to recognize the sound of Nigerian aircraft, running for shelter when the bombers came. The images of those years would be seared into global consciousness. Children with distended bellies suffering from kwashiorkor, makeshift airstrips where relief planes landed under cover of darkness, hospitals operating by candlelight. The Biafran people showed remarkable ingenuity, creating refineries from scratch, maintaining vehicles without spare parts, developing alternative food sources. But innovation alone couldn't overcome the overwhelming odds. By 1970, after the fall of Owerri and Umuahia, it was clear that the dream of Biafra was ending. The war's end brought new challenges. The federal government's no victor, no vanquished policy sounded magnanimous, but the reality was harsh. When Igbo people tried to reclaim their abandoned properties in other parts of Nigeria, they found them occupied or destroyed. Their bank accounts, frozen during the war, were reduced to a mere 20 pounds regardless of their previous balance. Chibueze, like millions of others, had to start again from nothing. The shop in Kaduna was long gone, and his savings had vanished with the Biafran currency. But the Igbo spirit of enterprise couldn't be crushed. He began small, selling palm oil in the local market. Grace started a small trading business, traveling to nearby villages to buy and sell goods. Chidi, now a teenager, combined his studies with helping his parents rebuild. The family lived in a single room, saving every penny they could. They weren't alone. Across the former Biafra, similar scenes played out. Families pooled resources. Communities formed cooperative societies. The traditional apprenticeship system was revived and expanded. Town unions organized to rebuild schools and markets. The story of the Igbo recovery became a testament to human resilience. Unable to rely on government support, they turned to self-help and community action. The same qualities that had driven their pre-war success, emphasis on education, strong community ties, and entrepreneurial spirit, became the foundation of their renaissance. By the late 1970s, signs of recovery were evident. New markets sprang up across Igbo land. Technical colleges trained a new generation of craftsmen and entrepreneurs. Despite limited capital, businesses emerged through innovative financing methods like apprenticeship and cooperative societies. Chibueze never rebuilt his business to its former scale, but he saw his children achieve new heights. Chidi completed his education and became an engineer. His daughter, Kioma, became a doctor. The youngest, Obina, followed in his father's footsteps as an entrepreneur. But with modern methods and technology, his father could never have imagined. Today, the scars of the Civil War remain, but so does the lesson of Igbo resilience. The story is told in the bustling markets of Onitsha and Aba, in the industrial clusters of Newi, and in the educational institutions that dot the region. Chibueze, now a grandfather, often sits with his grandchildren in the evening, sharing stories of the past. We lost everything, he tells them, but we never lost our spirit. Remember that the sun that sets will rise again. The rising sun on the Biafran flag may have set, but the Igbo people rose again through sheer determination and community solidarity. Their story serves as a powerful reminder that even in the darkest times, the human spirit can prevail. In markets across Nigeria, the Igbo are once again prominent in trade and commerce. Their children excel in universities worldwide. New businesses and industries emerge from the region. It's a testament to a people who, having lost everything, refuse to be defined by their losses. As the evening sun sets over Enugu, casting the same long shadows it did in 1966, the city pulsates with the energy of commerce and industry. In the distance, church bells ring, and the sound of children returning from school fills the air. Life continues, different from before the war, but vibrant nonetheless. The story of the Nigerian Civil War and its aftermath is not just about loss and survival. It's about the extraordinary capacity of human beings to rebuild from ashes. The Igbo experience demonstrates that while war can destroy infrastructure, businesses, and properties, it cannot destroy the intangible qualities that define a people. Their resilience, their innovative spirit, and their unwavering determination to rise again. Years later, when asked about the secret of Igbo recovery, Chibueze would simply say, "We understood that though we lost our possessions, we didn't lose our knowledge, our determination, or our ability to work together. As long as we had these, we could always begin again." And begin again they did, writing a new chapter in their history, one of resilience, recovery, and renewal. The end. Igbo Kwenu. If you want us to share more historical and educative stories like this, please share, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.